Hello and welcome to Mr.ClixFlix. I'm your host, as always, Mr.Clix, working every day to bring you the best Heroclix channel available on YouTube. And today's video is a battle report of my venue's Avengers Assemble Win-A-Brick tournament. My venue is really good about doing this. What they typically do is on the Tuesday before release, most sets release on Wednesday. So the Tuesday before that, we'll have a tournament that goes from 6 p.m. till 12 a.m. and as many games we can play in that time. And the person with the best record at the end wins a whole brick of whatever the set is that came out. In this case, it was Avengers Assembled. So the build restrictions were 300 points, Modern Marvel only. So the team I ended up going with was Banshee, Split Lip, 25-point Lockjaw, 30-point Loki, and Proxima Midnight at 100 points. And I had a Book of the Skull minus one hammer, and it was Nerkrod's hammer that I didn't have on the thing. Wasn't enough points. It came out to 300 even. So go ahead and get into the tournament. We ended up getting 8 rounds in, and I'll go ahead and tell you right now how I did. First round, I ended up being a lucky guy and got the bye, which I didn't really like because it's a win but with 0 points. So if I were to take a loss at the right part of the tournament, it really hurts your standings. So I wasn't too excited about it, but had my first round bye. Then the second round, I played against a guy that was running, who did he run? He ran Avengers vs. X-Men Thor at 100 points, Invincible Iron Man, Absorbing Man LE. He also had a full power plant. I feel like he had something else that I'm drawing a blank on. So we played each other. We parried off a little bit on our positioning. And how my team worked is I had Lockjaw, and he has a trait where he can carry 2 characters, or he can carry 1 character ignoring their combat symbols. So Lockjaw was carrying Banshee out to save an action, and Loki was carrying Proxima out. And typically what I did in most of my matches is Newell's hammer would go on Banshee to give him willpower, and Scatty's hammer would go on Proxima Midnight to give her charge exploit. So you could open up and do running shot Psychic Blast with Proxima, then follow up with charge exploit. The next turn, you take your push click, but whatever. And then I typically save Angrier's hammer for Proxima, and then spread the other hammers around to Loki and Lockjaw, depending on who fit, whatever fit the situation at the time. Banshee got Kurth's hammer a lot. Let's get back to the first match. We parried off on our positioning a lot. He was surprised a little bit about the Lockjaw being able to carry the Banshee. Hammered up my guys that were important, and we ended up, I went out and then fell back to my end of the map. And then I was able to get a running shot Psychic Blast on both his Absorbing Man and his Thor with Proxima, and I just dealt all the damage to Thor. And then the same turn, I running shotted with Banshee to finish the Thor off. And then after that, I tied down the Absorbing Man with Lockjaw. And then the next turn, I charged in with Proxima to try to get a little bit of damage. And my opponent rolled really bad on his Absorbing Man rolls. He made a couple of them where it didn't match up and he didn't take any damage. But I'd say he was taking about damage 50% of the time. And I ended up winning. He didn't KO anybody. So team worked pretty good. Split Lip just hung out in the back. power actioning to drop a hammer when need be. So good. I was sitting at 2-0 with the tournament. Next round, I played against a guy who was running Tyrant at 150. He was also running Destiny, and then another figure that I'm drawing a blank on. I should have wrote these guys down. I'm going to start doing that in the future to try to remember this stuff, but ended up playing against him. He had no idea what Banshee did, so his team suffered for that. Not knowing that I was taking away his invincible and all that other stuff hurt him. He managed to take out my split lip, but that was late game after I managed to move him up. And then that's all he got off me was split lip. Proxima and Banshee didn't take any damage, which is pretty much the story of the night. There was only one match where Banshee got a little banged up, but other than that, if I lost anybody, it ended up normally being Lockjaw. Sometimes it was Loki, but other than that, I never lost in any matches either one of my big two guys. So that was my third match, 3-0 now. He, like I said, that third guy, he just positioned wrong, and he just took a beating. Third match, I ended up playing probably the next best player at my venue. He played Captain Marvel Prime, the 75-point Hawkeye from Age of Ultron, the 75-point, or maybe it wasn't the 75-point, but it was the Black Widow from Age of Ultron, and then he also was playing a full Phoenix Force. So I put him on the submarine map because he didn't really have it. He had one guy with a 3 damage and nobody else that could really get there, so I felt it gave me an advantage that I had 2 guys with that, so I could break through a wall and then running shot through the next with the other guy to get the alpha strike. And that's what happened. I moved with Lockjaw carrying Banshee and Loki carrying Proxima, and then destroyed the wall with Proxima, ran through with Banshee, and hit Captain Marvel real solid the first time. He tried to get in a counter strike. He was down pretty bad. Ended up not making it. Then Proxima went, Banshee finished him off next turn, and then it was just a matter of finishing off Hawkeye and Black Widow. Black Widow ended up not really doing too much. She did tie down a couple people, but it was mostly just well, she managed to tie up Proxima for a couple turns before Proxima KO'd her, and then Hawkeye was the last guy standing. For some reason, I just couldn't hit him, and then he ended up KOing my Loki, so he got the points for that. That's how that match went. So that put me at 4-0. Then the next round, I played against a guy who was running a 300-point Hulk from Age of Ultron, and that's all that was on his team. And that thing's sickening to try to take down. Just those stupid anger tokens and how fast you can build them up. It was really tough. I needed the whole 45 minutes to take him down. It seemed like every time I was able to do the last, to do an attack, he ended up having a last gasp and regenning back up. But I was finally able to get my guys to where they all attacked on the same turn and put them down. So that worked out. He did KO my Lockjaw, but that's all he got off me. Other than that, I was able to outmaneuver him, and he ended up not using Colossal Stamina too much. He was trying to stay away from taking those push clicks, so that worked a little bit in my favor. And then the spear tokens from Proxima really ended up helping too, dealing that extra damage. And then, so that puts me at 5-0. The next match was against a Gore the God Butcher, a Split Lip, a Book of the Skulls at full, and then I can't remember what he had with the last part of his team. I've tried to remember. I feel bad because I helped him put his team together, and I can't remember what it was. But anyway, he doesn't normally play resources. He was just doing it for this tournament, so he was really misplaying his book. Tried to help him after the game and during the tournament before I played him. He was getting the hang of it when I played him, but he still wasn't running it real efficiently. KO'd his Gore the God Butcher. He didn't end up hitting anybody. He got no points from me. Just the Banshee did work all night along with Proxima. So that put me at 6-0. Then the next round I played against the same guy with the Captain Marvel Prime, Black Widow, and Hawkeye, and the full the full Phoenix Force. He won map roll that time, put us on a more open map. I ended up not paying attention. It was the Brazil map from Fear Itself, and there's that elevated terrain. It's like, if you're looking at it, sort of like the middle left portion of it. I thought it was elevated. I didn't realize it was depressed. Ran all my guys up there, and he took a shot at Proxima, missed. Took a shot at Banshee and hit, and crippled him pretty bad. But luckily, I hadn't given him a hammer yet. So then the next turn, I dropped whoever's hammer on him. Angrier's hammer. It was the only turn where Banshee got Angrier's hammer instead. Regened up, managed to harass and tie up his other figures with Proxima and Loki and Lockjaw. And then had Banshee join the fight the 2 turns after that, and he was only on his second click, so he's still really effective. I ended up KOing him. He got my Lockjaw. That's all he got. Again, really good player, and I made a mistake, and he tried to make me pay for it. His dice just weren't cooperating. I was having 13 and 14 attacks between Proxima and Banshee, and then I was increasing their defenses. It was just they were difficult to hit, so it took care of that. And then the last match, the judge shortened up to 30 minutes so that we could get it in. Had to play the guy with the Hulk again, 300 points, and I was sitting at 7-0, so I ended up not needing to win the tournament. Played against him. I just couldn't. I got him knocked down. He didn't. He knocked out my split lip, but that's the only guy he was able to hit. Other than that, and I just kept peppering him, and I didn't have enough time. So he ended up winning because he knocked out a 20-point character. But I ended up winning the tournament at 7-1. Overall, I really like this team. Having Lockjaw and Loki to carry my 2 main hitters really helped save some actions. And then the fact that I could decide the second turn if I wanted to push Proxima or not. And her with Scatty's hammer is just sickening. That exploit, so she can penetrate from ranged or up close, and she has the move and attack for both of those abilities. And then if you do base them and they're silly enough to try to actually KO her, she has that Cull Obsidian trait. Nobody was able to trigger it because nobody was really able to hit her, but they would pay for doing that. And then even though Loki and Lockjaw only have 1 and 2 damage, they were still extremely good for taking down opposing figures. Loki has that move and attack, and he also has a trait where he doesn't modify his attack value for it. So he had 11 and 12 attacks for 2 damage, which is enough to take out a secondary guy. Same thing, Lockjaw would end up with charge or running shot with an 11 attack for 1 damage, able to take out a tertiary attacker or something like that, or support guy like Split Lip or Destiny or something like that. So overall, really enjoyed this team. Not something I'd run on a normal night because it's extremely competitive, really economical in its actions. I liked this team a lot. I don't want to say I stumbled into it, but I didn't realize it was going to work as efficiently as it did whenever I was looking at it on paper. So I was really happy about that. But if you guys have any questions about the team I ran, how I did it and stuff like that, just post a question in the comments section. I'll do my best to get to you. That's all I have for you guys today. As always, please remember to like, comment, and subscribe so that you can be one of the first to view my videos as they become available. Till next time, please remember that it's only critical miss if you don't have probability control.